Hey, folks, it's Peter Palmiotti, and I'm going to mention a few things and there goes the video. So last night was amazing, lots of fun. Had a bunch of friends show up on the show itself and in the chat while I was working on the Dale Keown piece, and I plan to, finish it off next week, if possible. Not sure what day yet, but I'll, set up the stream, and you can, if you hit the notifications, all that jazz, you'll be informed. But I'll post it on my community page as well. And we have Landon in the chat. But yeah, I mean, like my videos haven't been getting tons of views lately. And the last video I had over 100 views was maybe like 6 months ago. So I think it's at 130, which I'm very happy with. Just trying to grow my channel, trying to do my thing. If you're new here, thanks for subscribing, like, comment. If you're watching this later, share it out to your friends. What do I got? So I did a little work. I got this cover I'm working on for Genuine Comics. It's pretty cool. Amazing. Alan Goldman is a phenomenal artist, and it's really not that much left. Most of this is done. This piece, and I can't wait to finish it, and then I can't wait to see the colors on it. And I'm looking forward to, other than that, which won't take me too long, I'll work on that tomorrow. I'm kind of going to take the weekend off, have like a 3-day weekend. I got tons of other stuff I got to take care of, and all chores of life and whatnot. But so Mark was with me yesterday. He was sort of my co-host, announcer man. We're not dead set with signups, but if you want to help us out and go to the designated sign up page, which is on Kickstarter, I got all the links down below. You can go, and there's my cat walking in front of me because that's what they do. Go sign up. We're going live on the 30th. It's the first issue of 5, and we're just going to crowdfund each book as we go. And we're expecting that we'll see a lot more action once we go live, rather than people willing to sign up to this unknown property. But yeah, today I have with me here C.B. Smallwood of Wildcat Anthology, the creator of Wildcat and the head of the anthology. And there's my cats fighting in the background. Hey, how's it going, man? You got the mood lighting on tonight.
Oh yeah. I've been experimenting with my setup. I've summoned through the Necronomicon a series of dark elves that assist with the dark lighting, and then I keep a little bit of gold ambience behind me to keep me in the pure light, so I don't get lost in the darkness.
Nice. Here's Marsh in the chat. I sent you the link Marsh, if you want to join us, Marshall. Cool. And Landon says, I'm going up to the mountains this weekend with my family. We try to go a couple times a year. Should be fun. Also a well-needed break from the heat. Yeah, it's been over 110 here the last week. Yeah, it's been a hot summer so far. It's a little cool at the moment, goodness. And we have Nicholas Geer in the chat. How's it going, Nicholas? Marshall says, yeah, I'll be jumping in soon. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But you'd asked me a while ago how I was doing, and I'm doing pretty good overall. I've just been barely sketching a little bit here and there, just mostly working on the anthology, the 80+ page Wildcat Anthology comic, and working on my contribution to it. And other than that, just trying to enjoy my summer before I go back to work, where I'll work the rest of my life until I die. Unless I make a great career out of comics, then that would be, preferably, die with the pencil between my fingers. That'd be, might not be too bad. Or maybe being on a beach somewhere sipping pina coladas, even though I don't even think I like pina coladas. But hypothetically, a good drink, sandy beaches, blue skies, with the umbrella, because I burn easy. I guess I got Nordic blood or something. I don't know.
Could be. So somebody asked which mountains land, and then the Spain's Comix up in AZ, can't divulge precisely where. Yeah, border of Mexico, higher altitudes. Nice. And we have Robbie Johnston in the chat. I'm sipping some whiskey and Pepsi right now. Oh, very cool.
All right. Yeah. That's how you get the night started.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I did mention, for those that are just turning up tonight, I'm, mostly been on my channel lately, just doodling. It almost doesn't matter what I'm drawing. And I don't even have to focus on it 100%. I just got to keep my hand moving because I got a lot of things I want to be penciling next year. I got a lot of inking and production this year, but next year I'll be penciling short stories and issue 2 of my book Retro. So I want to amp up my skills for that. And I know from experience that, as long as I keep drawing, then I keep my skill fresh.
True. That's something that I try to do is, well, not so much here lately. I've been bogged down, trying to get things going and moving and things done with the anthology. But, it's like, I'm of the mindset that, and other people have said this too, long before me, of like keeping a sketchbook, and I like to treat my sketchbooks like trash, like garbage, I feel like, now this is just my opinion, when you get on YouTube and you see people's sketchbooks, it's always like, every page is this immaculate work of art, and it's like fantastic looking. And so you get in your head that your sketchbook needs to look like it, but you never think that these people that's able to do that, they first started out getting those big stacks of photocopy papers about that thick, and then drawing terrible drawings on each and every one of those pages, front and back, and then another stack and another stack and another stack. And that's what it took to make that immaculate, fancy sketchbook. And so, my mindset is I got my sketchbooks that I do. I try to fill them up with crap, and hopefully there's some gold in there here and there. And the whole goal is just to, if you can invest like at least 30 minutes a day, you can get good, you can get decent, at it and improve. I like to watch YouTube videos too. I've already mentioned that, but in terms of like, stuff like David Finch, and there's these like really good manga artist, actually from Japan, that's got these really awesome tutorials where they don't say a word and they show you how to draw the body in motion. And that's pretty cool. Hey, Marsh.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Chilling.
What's that?
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I got a cat on my shoulder.
Of course you do. This is Peter Palmiotti's stream.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
I notice, Peter, that you're sounding good. You're looking like the videos. I like the quality I'm seeing here. This is good. Sounds great.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody's got. I got my mic.
Yeah,
I had to get two change.
Yeah, I have to remember, like, there's the delay because I can't get rid of the delay.
StreamYard.
But the audio, I gotta remember just that my settings are set correctly before I go live, and the video is like, I got a little bendable thing or I put my webcam on, so it's at a weird angle, but it's better than it used to be, definitely.
Well, it's pretty cool because, like, it's really hard to get pencils to look good in it, and I can see it. It's good stuff.
What do you mean, like in terms of like the focus, the camera?
Like on camera, like yeah. I usually don't do videos unless I'm inking because the pencils, they just don't show up so well. It's hard.
Nah, yeah, true.
Yeah, I got a lamp on my desk, but if I turn that on, which I'll do, it blows it out. Well,
yeah,
it's okay, I guess, but but yeah, it's just something you got to fuss with. It literally took me years on YouTube to figure it out.
I know, you're talking to the choir right here. Same thing. So, man, Wildcat's happening.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a rolling right along right now on Indiegogo. It has $695 so far raised, which is like I think it's like 47%. I'm throwing out all kinds of numbers here of the $1,500 goal, which it is a fixed goal. It's all or nothing. If it doesn't get funded, it ain't happening.
Ooh, we gotta get on this, people.
Yeah.
9 days left.
I wanted it to be set on a fixed goal, so that way, if it ever underfunded, I wouldn't be stuck in a spot to where I wouldn't be able to afford the shipping of the books or the printing of the books. And so I wanted to make sure that it was all or nothing. I think that was the best way to go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut everybody off. Didn't mean to do that.
All or nothing, sink or swim. You got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to share the page out? We did some improvements to it.
Oh, the Wildcat Anthology Indiegogo page?
Yeah. Show people what they can get.
Let me see if I can figure it out. I'm hitting buttons right now.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
So you got it? Okay, cool.
All right. Can you all see that?
Hold on. I'll click on it. Hold on. Just got to work around it. It should be coming up.
Oh, there's new pages up. Peter Deluca pages. Those things look sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like his kinetic energy that he has, and his layouts that he does.
It reminds me of like, it definitely reminds me of like old 90s style stuff, which I freaking love, of course. And
Yeah.
it certainly fits with Wildcat. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see that. On these, starting back from the beginning, probably should have been more professional with it, but on my part. But here is me and Robert Johnston's art. Well, I drew all this, I inked it, the whole 9 yards. But he added the gray tones, which I thought made it look so much nicer. And again, more pages by me with gray tones by Robert Johnston. And in this story, by the way, I know I'm kind of scrolling over the place. This is part of the Dr. Terror story, which it ties all the books together. In this 80-page anthology, one of the things that I run into is where there's all these different stories going on, and then there's concerns over what should be canon and what should not be canon. Should anything be canon? And then how do you tie it all together? Should you tie it all together? And then I came up with this idea that from the movie Heavy Metal, which is an awesome movie. If it's not, if the viewers have not seen it, you need to check out the Heavy Metal movie from the 80s. It's a animation. There's this floating orb that basically connects all the stories together. It's this evil floating orb, and it's involved in these stories in one way or another. Well, the Dr. Terror storyline is basically he's got Wildcat captured, and he's trying to find out the location, the whereabouts of the Azkani Shigorn. And, he basically tortures him and tries to peer into his mind to get those answers. And every time Wildcat blacks out, dreams, hallucinates, anything like that, we're introduced to a new Wildcat story by a different contributor. And there's like 6 different creative teams on this book. I'm one of them. And this is another story that I done here where there's chainsaw ninjas.
Nice.
And in this story, I think this is going to take place after the whole Dr. Terror bit. Basically, Wildcat's just out and about. Maybe he's getting a pop or something. I don't know. He's being hunted down by these chainsaw ninjas. And basically, in Japan, there's a Yakuza clan where if you fail as a Yakuza and you've lost your honor, you're kind of forced to don these big, bright, colorful outfits that are like yellow and orange and stuff. And you're forced to be these shinobi, these ninjas, to go take out who the Yakuza want you to take out. And these tend to be suicide missions. These are people that's deemed too hot to handle. And then on top of that, they give you a chainsaw, the most noisiest instrument to try to assassinate anyone with. And so assuming you survive, then you're redeemed in the eyes of the Yakuza. But should you fail, more likely you're already dead. But if you come back, you'll probably have to do like seppuku, or I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's a ritual suicide. And we've got this Tom Selleck samurai. And, for people watching, this big line in the middle, this is basically me just quickly cramming 2 pages together and not worrying about the seam. I mean, that line won't be in the final print. But Tom Selleck Shogun Samurai, he's basically mad at Wildcat because Wildcat may or may not have been with his wife. And so that's pretty much the whole crux of that. It's just it's a petty squabble. On down here, we got the fantastic creative team of Abel Parsons, Peter Palmiotti, Allison McClone. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right, McClone. And I really like I love the gray tones that she added on here. I thought that was really cool. And then I always love Abe's pencils. I think he does really, really cool. And I mentioned it before. I always pick out the most pettiest things that I really like. But maybe it's just a weird artist thing, or it's just a weird thing on my part. But I was looking at this chain over Wildcat's shoulder, and I was like studying it. And I was like, that is killer. I love that, because it looks like a chain, and I could be wrong, but most of that work that make that chain pop like that's Peter. And it's like, wow, look at that, So little things. I noticed the little things. The lettering looks top notch too.
I love chains.
Yeah.
It's those little things that you can noodle and have fun with. Definitely, did you refresh that page? Because I did updates that I'm not seeing, like just little tweaks.
Not. All right, may refresh it. Let me refresh it.
Oh, okay.
Because what I do is I always have two of the Indiegogo tabs up. I got one that's like the back end that gives me statistics and stuff like that. And then I got this main page where I can click on this button.
Yeah.
And then, share the link and that whole big jazz. So now I'm going to scroll down.
So if anybody commissions Peter, you gotta commission him to do Spawn or Ghost Rider or something with chains.
Peter done something here recently. Well, he showed one thing on the show that looked awesome, but there was another piece where it was kind of like a jam piece that had a whole bunch of characters on it, including Pitt. There's like 6 or 7 of them. I can't name them off the top of my head, and that inking job came out really good.
Nicholas Geer, who's in the chat or was earlier, I did that piece for him because it had a character in it, which is the Relentless Tin Soldier, but it had his character.
He was in the front,
black and white art there. Yeah, really cool piece, and colored really excellent.
And did you? You added this cross hatching here around the eye, or was it already like that?
Yeah.
I think that's.
I enhanced what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did on the hair. Close up, and I crazy. Smaller figures. You want to keep simpler, but.
It turned out really good. I like that. And then on this one, we've got Daniel Mcginnis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name right, because I pronounced nobody's name right but my own.
I think that's right.
Sideburns in the chat too.
Yeah. That's Sideburns. So it's a Sideburns art, and I really love the story, that he crafted. Basically, some kids, they're outside and they're messing around with cards, and just gaming cards, that type of thing. And basically, there's kind of like the switch. She shows up, things get a little out of hand, and before we know it, those cards come alive. And I'll scroll down to the bottom here. You can kind of see what happens. And then, bam, look at these awesome characters. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty killer. And then Wildcat ends up in it. He always ends up in the middle of it. But
awesome. One of the things that's great about anthologies is that you get a a whole different mix of artists, you know.
Mm-hmm. I like seeing people's different approaches to things, you know, and how their mind's eye perceives something, you know. That's one of the things I like, you know, seeing people do art about Wildcat or comics or anything like that, because, you know, I feel like, you know, once that happened, I remember the first time I saw, and I say it respectfully, you know, fan art, you know, like just this really awesome art of Wildcat. It kind of dawned on me that Wildcat don't belong to me no more. Like, I own the rights to Wildcat. I'll always be the creator, but like once you put it out in the world, it kind of belongs to everybody now. And seeing how people see how his adventures could or couldn't play out, and where they go with it is really awesome to me. And I like this story by Robert Johnston. You know, he did the whole 9 yards on this, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of an alternate reality where Wildcat is a Clark Kent figure, and the Fox, who's also a central figure in Wildcat's life, is also a reporter. They're both reporters, and you know, we get a kind of insight of what that life's like, and eventually things, you know, get crazy, and Wildcat, you know, has to go do crazy things. And then down here we get Jan's awesome work as well. I like his Rick Leonardi, and I always say George Perez, but it's hard to pinpoint where he gets stuff from. But
it's a lot of different things.
It is.
Great.
It is. You know,
actually,
I feel like
yeah, he kind of does have a pretty unique style, that's for sure. Like you said, there's so much influence. But it's hard to even pinpoint it for sure.
Yeah, it's like you could have like a whole team from like the History Channel, and they'd be like pouring over it, like, well, we think, you know, we all agree Rick Leonardi for sure in some aspects, but then it could be Gene Colan, you know, the light and shadow.
Yeah, those names come to mind. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, there's my boy, the Wildcat. I like it. I like how he's kind of rendered the rock arm, and it kind of like a xenomorph way. Pretty cool. And that brings us to Peter Deluca's contribution. He's been working hard here lately on his live streams, getting everything together, and we see you know, Wildcat falling out of the sky for God knows what reason, but he hits it hard and he gets up. He's mad. It looks like he's
a lot of energy to his work.
Yeah. That's the one of my favorite things about his work is very energetic, and he has a lot of control with how he puts his inks on the page. Even though it seems very kinetic and frenetic and all over the place, there is a order to it too, you know. I like that. It's pretty cool, and he's got really good layouts. But yeah, folks, that's yeah. There's a lot more pages in this. You know, like I said, there's 80 plus pages, so you're getting just like a sampling of what's in there, but there's a whole lot more story involved. And also, I'm going to be putting a lot of whimsical ads in it. You know, I like the stuff that you used to see in comics back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. The ads that used to be in them, I thought they were really cool. I also like those creepy and eerie magazine ads. And even stuff from magazines from like, it doesn't matter. It could be like Time Life or something like that, you know, or Rolling Stone, like ads that you would see in the 70s and stuff like that. You know, I want to put kind of like these fake ads in Wildcat, you know, just for giggles, you know.
It was all cigarettes and liquor and guns, right?
Yes, cigarettes,
Those
liquor,
were
and
the
guns.
ads.
Well, I had one that's pretty much finished. I'm not sure on it. I may change all the lettering, you know, because I don't want to offend people, you know, because some things are just for craps and giggles. But I took the Hey Skinny ad, and for anyone that's not familiar with it, back in the 60s, maybe, there used to be this guy, I think his name was Joe Atlas or something like that. And
Right.
and he had these advertisements in comics where basically it was a cartoon ad where this kid is walking with this lady on the beach, and this bully beats him up in front of his girl. He goes home ashamed, and so he gets a stamp, and he sends off for Atlas's new book on how to get fit, you know. He follows the instructions. He gets muscles. He goes back to the beach. He redeems his honor. He slays the bully with a awesome right hook, and now the girls like him again. And so I feel like I was leaning that way, but it was Robert Johnston. I know me and him was brainstorming there, and he may have beat me to the punch and said that you know, have Wildcat be the guy that actually beats up the hero of the thing. And so I started working on that, and then I realized, like, well, I don't want him to be such a bad guy, I guess. So I had to change the dialogue where I made Joe, the skinny guy, seem really crappy. So, you know, lots of crazy little things that I'm putting in there, you know, just for the fun of it. And it helps also with the formatting, you know, because if there's too many pages of this or too less pages of that, and you want things to display a certain way, especially if you have double splash pages, those ads will help with that, you know.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
So you go over the perks. What are people getting?
Well,
the pledge levels.
I kept things simple because, you know, I felt like, you know, I didn't want to put too much on my plate. I want to make sure that this book, you know, first of all, before I even launched Indiegogo, I waited till this book was like 75% done. So that way it's not going to take too long for the time that it gets fulfilled to be in your hands, you know. The other thing is I tried to keep the perks and stuff simple. And I'll add more perks as demand kind of dictates. Right now, one perk is just the book and a free digital copy that comes with it. It's for $25, but it's for 80 plus pages. You know, this could be like 100 pages by the time it's done, you know, but 80 plus pages. You get the comic and the free digital copy. For overseas backers or people that just want to show support, but they don't have enough money, we have the digital comic, which is just $5, which is still a pretty good deal overall, considering what these digital comics go for on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And it's 80 plus pages, so you got that as well. And down below, we've got the variant cover, which also includes the free digital comic. So you're getting the comic that has a variant cover on it and a free digital, and that's just $25 for as well for 80 plus pages. Now, in the off chance that things go bonkers in a good way, I do have set a $2,500 goal for a variant cover, you know, to be done by, you know, somebody really cool. I don't know who that would be, you know. Somebody cool will do a variant cover. $5,000 goal, trading card. And, you know, I've actually got a trading card mock-up done and everything like that. So it wouldn't take long to roll those out. I just have to find a company to, you know, put them together and print them and ship them. And then the $6,000 goal is basically get the comic colored, you know, because right now it is in black and white, which I felt added to the charm to it, but also helped out all the contributors not be bogged down with so much to do. Because, you know, we all have to pencil, ink, letter, and do the whole 9 yards with it. Yeah.
No.
What was the Peter? What was the topic that you had lined out for today? I don't think we never got across to that
just
yet.
creating compelling characters. You know, you created Wildcat. You know, what do you think? Like an average reader, you know, besides the art, like, you know, what about the character? What about his story? Would people relate to or be engrossed by, or, you know?
Well, the first, you know, as far as like Wildcat, just Wildcat in particular, you know, the reaction I want people to have when they see Wildcat, the very first thing is like, well, that's cool. I want people to say those words. That's cool. You know, if it was back in the 60s and somehow this book time traveled back to then, I want it to be Neato Cheetos. You know, whatever floats your boat, but, you know, just that's cool. You know, oh man, it looks awesome. You know, I want that reaction. But, you know, when people read the book, I want people to kind of, I do want people obviously to like the character, but I want them to walk away with somewhat sympathizing or having sympathy for him at times. This anthology comic is going to be a primer for getting people used to Wildcat and what he can do and kind of like what his powers are and all this other stuff and his personality. But, you know, after this anthology is said and done, you know, I'll be moving on to doing the Wildcat Dead Man Walking, which is all about him, his origins as he is killed and slain sometime in the 80s. And in present day, he rises from the grave in this haunted forest and with no memory of who he is or why he is the way he is, you know, or anything. You know, he has his memories are gone because he had his brains blown out. So he's in this creepy town that's kind of like from Walking Tall. And for those that don't know what Walking Tall is, it was an awesome show back in late 70s, early 80s, made for TV movie. And it was based on a true story about small town corruption in a town in Tennessee where it was lots of gambling and you know, illegal booze and that sort of thing. And the law enforcement was in on it. You know, the judges were in on it. Everybody was in on it. And regular people were getting hurt. It became a lawless town. And that's sort of what this town is, you know, the Clay County town. And the story that I'm wanting to go with that is basically, you know, with no memory of who he is, he has to start all over again and carve a new life for himself. And he's being rejected by society because, you know, he's this dead thing that came out of the ground, you know. And he also questions himself because, you know, at night, you know, he's going and hunting animals and eating them raw and stuff. So is he really a man or is he a monster? And so there's a lot of that stuff in it. He befriends this girl named the Fox. That's not her name. That's just her nickname because she wears a fox hoodie and she has her own personal demons that she's battling. And together they try to help each other find the answers to their questions. And that's where I'm going with this. But the anthology comic, this book that's out on Indiegogo right now, this 80-page monster, is to get you used to the character of Wildcat. There's all these awesome stories in it. And there's a lot of things that's going to be foreshadowing of stuff that's going to come later. You're getting the first appearances of characters that I created, like Dr. Terra, the Chainsaw Ninjas, the Shogun Samurai, Fish Boy, of course, Wildcat, and the Jawanauts. The Joplonauts. That's a big mouthful. Oh, the guy, Despain Comics says the guy from Walking Tall, Buford Pusser. It was a real man. This is a true story. It's awesome. If anybody watching this has not seen the late 70s, early 80s Walking Tall, not that movie that was garbage done by The Rock, but the 70s, 80s, they did like maybe 2 movies, maybe 3 movies about it. It's great. Third movie, not so much, but the first 2 is pretty awesome. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, I never watched those movies. I was aware of them, but I guess I was too young at the time or something.
Oh, it was really cool. You know, this guy that used to be, you know, he was in the military and he used to be a pro wrestler. That's what he was doing last. And he has his family and they just want to settle down. And so he goes back to his hometown, but everything's changed, you know. And when he gets there, there's all this, there's like this place where all this illegal gambling and drinking and prostitution and stuff goes on. And basically his buddy makes poor choices and I think he gets cheated. And so he takes up for his buddy. And so both of them get roughed up. And at one point, you know, Buford gets cut up with a knife multiple times. And it gets thrown over a bridge or something like that. I can't remember, but you know, he survives, and then you know he can't get the sheriff to do nothing because the sheriff's in on it. All of them are in on it, and so he decides to run for sheriff himself, and he ends up winning. You know, when he was in the courtroom defending himself, because he went back and he destroyed that gambling place. And he took back the money he was owed. He actually was on trial for it, and he just, you know, rips his shirt open. There's all the scars on his chest. And he looks at the jury and he says, "Look what they done to me. You think they won't do this to you? You got another thing coming. This could be you." And then like they're like, "Oh," you know. And he ends up running for sheriff. He surprisingly wins, and he packs a 2x4 with him, you know. And so he breaks up steals with it's a great movie. It really is. And the true life stuff of what happened after the events of the movie is really sad. Really sad stuff. Not just for what happened to him, but his wife and I think his daughter and all of them. It's crazy. And it actually what happened in that small Tennessee town goes all the way up to northern Tennessee, I think probably into Kentucky and a few other states. It was a whole criminal network, you know. Big thing.
Yeah, I'm part of the Kentucky criminal element here.
Yeah. Yeah. You could show up your house with a 2x4.
So you've been quiet, hard.
Yeah.
What you been up to lately?
Oh man, just working.
You did a Wildcat. You know.
Oh, I was going to bring it up. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was having fun with that. I just this bad boy right here.
Yes.
Yeah, I just was I don't know. I wanted to draw the character and I just kind of went nuts with it. I don't know. It's like it's meant to be like kind of wonky and kind of like I don't know, 90s sort of Sam Keithy / you know, maybe outsider comic type thing or something. I don't know. I just kind of went crazy on the details more than I normally do. It was just fun to noodle on it. And
was Kevin Eastman the artist on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or was it the other guy?
Yeah.
Well, it also reminds me of Eastman, you know, because it's got that vibe to it. When you colored it and stuff, it's like I was like thinking that'd make an awesome poster.
Yeah.
It's got
I
that
did
underground feel.
old school kind of coloring and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was super fun to work on that character. I've tried to draw Wildcat a couple times, I think, before, but this time I was like, he's doing the campaign. I want to do like a video or
Yes.
something and see if I can help do something, promote it more or whatever, and plus I'm just kind of in this. I'm in the same like mode where it's just like 90s, man. Like the stuff that I like grew up on and loved, no matter whether people's opinion on those artists and stuff. For me it was exciting and interesting, and I'm just trying to lean into it because when I look at those comics, like I'm like excited to make comics, and that's what got me excited to make comics originally. So Wildcat's perfect for that. That's like, oh man, yeah, let's have some fun with this, So and the projects I'm trying to work on now kind of are that type of vibe as well. So yeah.
Yeah, you was doing a story about
Yeah.
this. I remember this guy that was driving, and he ends up like, was it in like an alternate reality type of
Yeah,
scenario?
that was for the 9-volt anthology, the latest one, and I don't think it's published yet, but it's gonna be soon. But that was more just like, okay, I'm getting back into doing the comics, doing my YouTube and everything. Um, I just want to get back in the game and get some comics going. So I was like, I'll do that little 4-page story. I did that. I don't feel like that really reflects kind of the mode I'm in right now. I mean, it's still fun. I still enjoy doing it. I'm proud of the work. But I really want to like lean into this 90s stuff because I just love it. And I'm gonna probably be doing some like fan art and stuff too, because
Mm.
um I think I just want to get in, like I want to get into that mode of like even like motor skills, just like practicing every day, practicing. And then I'm also studying up on writing and stuff. Our mutual friend Lucifer Storm, he recommended this book to me a while ago, the 20 master plots, and there's other books we've talked about too, but I picked this up and I've been reading it, and it's a good one. Teaching about writing and stuff. It's pretty dope.
Well, what does it mean by 20
Well,
master
you saw
plots?
this down.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
What
this
is that? It looks
the
really dope. I know you inked it, right?
okay. So well, I'm inking it. I'll hopefully finish it next week. So there's a friend of mine. He's doing a book. He by 90s comics.
Mhm.
And the character's name is Reaper. It 60 days, man. You can still get it. I have linked down below. But he hangs out with Dale Keown on his show, and he got Dale to do a cover for him. So I don't do fan inks. It's like plenty of people that you see the same pages and pinups and everything out there done by 1,000 different inkers. But really early in my career, it's like I just missed the window of working on early Dale Keown comic. And I just followed him throughout the years, and I love his work. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just ask Joe if I can get, a scan of the pencils. And he sent me that. And it was like, I got to work on this. So it's just for my own amusement, and maybe I'll sell it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of comics out there now that are inspired by like 90s comics. Do you know, is it Death Shade? Is another one, Isaac, I forget his last name, Isaac Bell, I think. Looks amazing. Another amazing
he has
book.
like a YouTube channel, and I think there's a girl who draws some of his
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that I like his channel.
Colors his work. Yeah, yeah,
His art is really the art and
yeah. He's
everything
funny.
looks awesome. Definitely 90s. Like it's good stuff. Yeah, I like that stuff. And I keep hearing everybody talking
Yeah.
about Deluca Keon
So
and
in the
like and
Trent. Yeah, he's back. He doing a bunch of some people, and he's got he's new book. I don't know if it's a series, but Pitt will be back.
that's
This
awesome.
Spain. Trent Deluca recently did his book, Creed. Was that Creed? Yeah. That was very 90s.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of that stuff has been resurfacing and it's really cool. I don't know, man. I just want to contribute to that because that's kind of what I'm into. But I'll bring my own take to it, just like everybody brings their own take to it.
Yeah, I mean, my book Retro it's a combination of a lot of things, but definitely like a lot of the inking techniques I want to do on it are 90s oriented, you know, which you'll see more and more as I do issues.
Awesome.
What is Retro's backstory?
If I tell you, I have to kill you. It's it's something that I'll get to, but it's more, it's like the first issue I just like introduce the character and you get to know a little bit about what he's up to and his life and some of his friends and connections. But yeah, I'm going to be working towards his origin, but it might not be until issue 10 or maybe issue 25. Like when it makes sense, I'll drop it in. I do want to do a bunch of issues where it's like, standalone, kind of like Spider-Man back in the day, where like this is but there's still like development in his life and whatnot. So kind of that angle. So as we get to know more about Retro and his real life, and like he has a day job just like anybody else, and he has a real life friends, and but he also has this superhero life and people he meets up with there. But yeah, it's like I always love like first issue of Fantastic Four tells the origin and everything's out there. Like the characters, Johnny's a hothead, Reed Richards, is a workaholic, Sue Richards really cares about all the guys, and but it's I can never like when I create characters and books in my head, I can never do that with the first issue. It's always something I'll get to later.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean, to be
there's a
fair,
lot more to them, but yeah,
to be fair, a lot of the
you'll find out
characters
over time.
that are popular and stuff, even Superman, Batman, a lot of characters, you didn't get to their origin right away. I think even they didn't even know like when they created the characters what their origin was like right away necessarily in some of these characters. So I don't
Yeah.
think you're doing anything wrong by doing that. That's a valid way to go about it, I suppose.
Yeah. So we've been going on an hour. Do you want to drop any other tidbits, or you think you covered everything? about the campaign, what you're up to, where can people find you online, all that jazz, CB.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, check out everything, and to learn more about the campaign. Again, for anyone that might be just tuning in, I am the creator of Wildcat, this character that I made back in early 90s, probably around 93, I don't know. But one of the earliest drawings I have of him still is from 95, I think. And I've had this character for years, and in 2017, I started getting serious about trying to make comics a career, dusted him off, and worked on the defunct first issue. And now we're working on the Wildcat Anthology. And what is that? That is a 80-plus page comic book, that has 6 different creative teams with 6 different approaches and looks at Wildcat, this character that's over the top, very 90s in a sense of it's about action and it's a thriller. It's got a little bit of elements of horror sprinkled here and there. But overall, the one word that I would sum this book up in this character is the word fun. It's just fun. And we're going to get what you're going to get out of this book, other than the 80 pages, is the collectability of it, because I'm going to keep doing Wildcat stories. So you're getting the first appearance of Wildcat, the first appearance of Dr. Terror, the Jawa Knots, the Shogun Samurai, the Chainsaw Ninjas, Fish Boy, and, a whole bunch more. We're also getting the early work of many awesome up and coming creators. And so you're going to get that, imagine like if you could be going back in time and getting the early issues of Jim Lee when he was on Alpha Flight and Punisher, or going back further with like Jack Kirby when he was working on those love comics and those Western comics and stuff like that. Well, now you can, Yeah. I don't know who the next Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby or Jim Lee or Del Keon's going to be, but we've got a lot of awesome guys on this book, and they're probably right here. So that's another incentive to back this book. And at the end of the day, I believe that if you want more great comics out there, you have to invest in them, because this is an investment, not just in me, but in everybody else on this book. It's an investment in this character. It says, hey, we want more of this. So, here's the money to help make that happen, and if you're tired of not seeing certain things in comics, well, this is how you make it happen. You get with indie creators and you fund them, whether it's my book or anyone else's. If you want to find me on social media, I'm literally all over the place. I'm on all the platforms, but to keep it simple, the main ones that I usually use or check frequently is pretty much Twitter, YouTube, and Odyssey. And if you're not on Odyssey, you need to get on there now. It's going to be a gold rush. I'm telling you guys, if you don't get there early, you're not going to get the big nuggets. But Twitter, YouTube, and Odyssey, just look up CB Smallwood. I usually have a purple barrel logo. And he'll say CB Smallwood on it, and so you'll know that it's me. And that's pretty much it. And I really appreciate Jens having me on the show, give me a chance to promote the book. Awesome people. We've all worked really hard on this. We're still working hard on this. It's 75% done. It's getting ready to be rolled out the door. And I really appreciate everyone that has looked at the campaign and is considering to donate or back the book. So thank you again. And that pretty much sums it up.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely carrying it out too. Like, the more people that share it out, the better our chances. Definitely.
Yeah.
So Marshall, nobody here knows who you are. So where can people find you?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Marshall.
Yeah, I guess. Just my YouTube channel, Marsh Makes Comics. That's probably the best place. Also, Instagram is Planet Plex, which is kind of weird, but I was doing my music on there and stuff. under that name. I think it's Planet of Plex. So, anyways, but I share some art and stuff on there, but also music and stuff. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah. I just remembered Twitter was down like this morning, and I couldn't go on Twitter to check out that it was down. But usually I go on Twitter when Facebook is down. But I never experienced Twitter be down, but they had some problems. So yeah, I'm going 3 day. I'll be back next week. Just doing pretty much the same stuff I've been doing. I got a crazy schedule, so I'm doodling here, I'm talking here. Sometimes I have friends come on with me. But yeah, give this video a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and keep making comics and art. And we'll see you again next time. Have a great night, everyone. And
Later.
let me hit the